This is a DEMILARE branded LED high bay light. I received this light to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you $70. I have not been paid for my review, and so my opinions are my own. Alright, in the box we have a user's manual and the light itself, along with a hook. Alright, this light looks very businesslike. It has a safety cable to hook onto something or around something so you know it won't fall. It also has a lot of fins for dissipating heat. And this is, I believe, a 150 watt light. So that's, for LED lights, that's a lot of light. Now it also includes this hook with a couple of safety features. So first of all, this locking bolt here, after you screw the hook into the light and install it, so after you set that up, you take a wrench and tighten down this locking bolt to put tension on that. There's also a screw here. You screw that in to keep this thing from unscrewing. And there's this screw here. So the idea is after you put a chain link or whatever's holding this thing up through the hook, you then screw the screw all the way down, touching this thing, so there's no way it can fall out. In addition to that, you have this safety linkage, which you can wrap around something and either hook to something directly here or wrap around something and latch this guy back in place. Now on the light, there is two little wires that are covered up here. I'll have to read the manual to see what those do. It says it's dimmable, so maybe that's for a dimmer circuit. And then a plug, standard US 120 volt type plug here with a ground. Alright, the manual actually did not say anything about the dimmer functionality, but it says dim plus and dim minus is purple and pink. So apparently there's something you could attach to that to dim it. I'm going to hope it just is at full brightness when I plug it in, and I'll use it that way. Now this is a high bay light. I don't have a high bay, I have a garage. And so they have here that says, hey, how many foot candles do you get illumination at 10 feet up to 66 feet above the ground? I'm going to be at that 8 to 10 foot, so I'm going to get 24 FCs of illumination, which sounds like a lot. At 150 watts, it's 22,500 lumens. So let's plug this in and see how bright it makes things. Alright, the power cord's about 4 feet long. And this is my garage illuminated just with sunlight, and that's with the high bay light turning on. So it definitely got brighter in here. Let me turn it off. And there's Arn. I'm absolutely certain this is not an improved mounting method, but I just want to see what it looks like when it's mounted overhead. This is off, and that's Arn. It's pretty bright. Not too much glare, but it is definitely bright. It's turned on now. The power factor is 0.97, so it actually has a pretty good LED driver on it. So 0.97 power factor is pretty darn good. It says 145 volt amps and 142 watts. Okay, so it is drawing 142 watts, just slightly under the rated 150. I don't know if that number will go up or down with time as this guy warms up. I'm going to leave this thing turned on, but I don't want to leave it turned on just face down on the concrete. I want to hang it in the air like it's designed to be hung in the air so we can get some airflow around it. So let me hang it up before I do a long-term temperature test. Alright, so this light weighs like 5 pounds, so I have this big cup hook type, well, it's bigger than a cup hook, but big hook into a rafter up there, so I'm really not worried about that. I even pinched this guy with a vise so I can't have that thing pop off, and you can see here there's that screw that's keeping it from falling out even if it were to swing or something. Plus I have this safety wire attached. Now I will potentially hit that pulling things off the top shelf, but I have a bit of clearance there. Alright, so here's this guy with my normal room LED lighting, which is pretty good. And then when we turn on the high bay light, that happens. Normal room lighting, high bay light. Alright, we're going to leave that up there for 10 or 20 minutes and come back with a thermal camera and take a look at the heat output. Alright, this guy has been running for about 11 minutes. It's drawing 138 watts, and you can see here there is definite heat coming off of it. So the high temperature there looks to be about 45 centigrade. You can also see that the heat, just from convection up at the top of the ceiling, is warming up the ceiling above it. They're not super hot, it's 24 degrees centigrade. And my hand here is 27 degrees centigrade. So it's not like it's heating it up enough to worry about a fire danger or anything, but there is definitely convection airflow heating up there. It's also interesting, I have this aluminum plate, so that aluminum plate's holding up two pieces of wood there. So the center point on this aluminum bar that is holding up the wood here looks hot. I think what might be happening is it might be reflecting the radiant heat from the light there, because that thing isn't that close. Yeah, it doesn't feel any warmer, that's just a reflection. So here, top of the light is, 51 centigrade. Put my hand on there, that is definitely warm. That is uncomfortably warm. I wouldn't want to leave my hand on top of that. It's not really a fire risk unless you had something super flammable fall on top of it, but it is definitely warm, so that thing definitely heats up. This light's drawing 100 watts and putting out a lot of light, but a lot of that also is going out as heat. And you can see up here just the wood above it. Now the wood above it doesn't really feel warm, but it's not as cool as wood in other parts of the roof here. This metal hook at the top feels slightly warm, but there's really not much heat going through that, and the hook in the ceiling is not really warm at all. Alright, I'm happy with this guy. Obviously I need to run the wires over and make up a switch system to switch it on and off, but this is definitely going to provide enough light for my little space. I really don't have any way to judge if it's actually putting out the claimed 22,000 lumens, but it's definitely a very bright light when you turn it on.